Every Friday night as a child, my dad would take my brother and I to rent scary movies, back when Blockbuster and VHS were a thing. My mother wasn't really into horror films. She didn't like being scared, so she would just make other plans. My younger brother Steve and I were always so excited for movie night. I think he was just in it for the snacks, though, because he usually got bored during the movie and would start bugging the hell out of me, which led to him being sent to his room, and to be honest, I didn't really mind him not being there. The second we heard the horn honk when Dad pulled into the driveway, we were racing out the door shouting, "Shotgun!" I said it first, which meant I got to sit in the front passenger seat on the way there, and my brother would sit in the front on the way home, to be fair. My parents just didn't want to hear Steve throw a fit. He's such a brat. I hopped in the front seat and buckled up while sticking my tongue out at my sulking sibling. We pulled into the parking lot, which was unusually empty. I unbuckled and got out of the car excitedly, and just as I was about to close the door, I looked over into the store window. It was dark inside with the lights flickering. I just stared at it. My excitement turned to fear, and it dropped to the pit of my stomach. "Are you sure it's open, Dad?" I asked.
I'm not sure. The sign says they're open. Let's go in and see.
Dad responded. It looked so creepy inside. I couldn't look away. Then Steve slammed the car door and I jumped half out of my skin.
"What's the matter, scaredy cat?"
He teased. "You're not supposed to slam the car door." "I'm not scared, buttface." That was a lie. I was actually very scared. As we walked closer to the front door, the weird feeling in my stomach grew bigger. Dad held the door open for us. My brother pranced in happily, but I gulped and cautiously walked through the door. I was feeling really creeped out. And not to sound like a baby, but I was afraid of the dark. The fluorescent lights would buzz loudly and then cut out for a few moments, throwing the store into complete darkness. This looked like a scene from a horror movie before something really bad was about to happen. There was a light over near the cash register. It looked like it might have been an employee looking around, but it was hard to see.
Excuse me, are you guys open?
My dad asked the employee.
"No, sorry, we've been having issues with the electrical system all day." "Wait, it's you. Hang on a minute, I'll be right back."
He leaned down, grabbed something, and then placed it on the counter.
"The boss told me to set this aside for you. It just came in the morning. I haven't watched it yet, but I hear it's really scary."
My parents were good friends with the manager of this location, so we would get discounts, free rentals, and sometimes they would even let us watch movies before they were put on the shelves. I grabbed the movie off the counter. The case was black with some writing on it, but I couldn't quite make it out. "Is there popcorn?" I asked shyly.
"We had to send the machines out to be repaired this morning because they shorted out."
I was disappointed.
That's all right. We'll stop by the convenience store for snacks. Have a good one.
The man nodded, and we left the store, but the weird thing was, as soon as I stepped out the door, there was this really loud hum from inside Blockbuster, which startled all of us, and when we turned around to look, all the lights were on. They weren't flickering. Nothing. I found it kind of odd. There was a convenience store right next to it, in the plaza. After my brother and I got in the car, my dad had us lock the doors while he ran in to grab snacks and pop. Steve started humming this odd tune. "What song is that?" I asked curiously. He leaned over to look at me with this strange look on his face. "What? I've never heard it before." He rolled his eyes and continued to hum the mysterious song. I looked down at the movie sitting in my lap. It was a plain black case with Agitha written crudely in whiteout on it. Steve was still humming away, over and over and over. Ugh, it was really grinding on my nerves and I couldn't take it anymore, so I snapped at him. Okay, that's really annoying now. Stop. I heard him let out a big sigh and carry on, but I had had enough. This song felt like it was getting right inside my head and tearing apart my soul. Shut up! I shouted as I covered my ears with my hands. His head whipped around the seat. His eyes and mouth were large, shadowy holes.
How about you quit being a bitch and leave me alone?
He said, and then didn't move. Just stared at me. I was too scared to move, to look away, almost too scared to even breathe. Frozen in this moment until Dad came out from the store and my brother turned around. But that image, it was burned into my mind permanently. I leaned over and looked into the passenger side mirror. And Steve looked like his regular, annoying self again. But the whole ride home, I sat quietly with my hands resting on the movie in my lap. I was trying not to look terrified, and normally I wouldn't hesitate to tell on my brother, but after what happened, I couldn't even say anything. You know that feeling when you're trying not to cry? It feels like your feelings are caught in your throat and it hurts to swallow. That's how I was feeling. I pinched the skin on my arm to try and stop the tears, which is something one of my cousins taught me. She said it helps her stop from crying when her parents are fighting. At dinner, I watched Steve scarf down his food like he always does. He didn't seem any different. I wasn't really hungry after what happened, so I just pushed my food around until everyone was done eating. As I helped Mom clean up, Steve and Dad got the snacks and drinks set up on the coffee table.
I'm putting the movie in.
Steve exclaimed excitedly as he ran and grabbed the VHS. I slowly walked into the living room and sat on the couch next to our dad. The air in the room felt off. It was really weird. My brother hit play on the VCR and joined us on the couch. The movie started with some eerie music. It panned through a wooded area and up to a farmhouse where a girl was in a rocking chair on the porch, holding a doll. For a new movie, this sure did look really old, and the sound was scratchy, like an old record player that needed to be cleaned. Slowly, the camera zoomed up to the porch, focusing on the doll until its face filled the screen. It sat quietly for a moment before the girl in the rocking chair started humming. Oh my god. This can't be. That's the song Steve was humming. I closed my eyes in disbelief, and when I opened them, Mom, Dad, and Steve were all in front of the television sitting on their knees. This thick fog rolled out from the screen and started filling the room. It was getting hard to breathe. I blinked, and the fog was gone. No one was in front of the TV, but the film was still sitting frozen on the doll's porcelain face. I looked over to my dad and brother, who were staring at the screen, and there was my mom in the doorway. Which is odd, she never joined Scary Movie Night. I slowly turned back to the movie, and the doll's glass eyes snapped to look at me. I jumped. I swear she was looking right into my eyes. Terrified, I looked over to my family. All of them had no eyes or mouths, just large shadowy holes in their faces. They all turned to look at me in sync. My heart pounded. They all started humming the strange song. I blinked and they were all in my face. Fog was pouring out of the black holes, and I tried to scream, but the fog filled my lungs. I choked and lost consciousness. When I woke up, I was in a rocking chair on a wooden porch holding this creepy porcelain doll. I could see my family watching the movie through a square hole in front of me. But I was there too, eating popcorn and grinning.